the world's most torque and power-dense e-motor. We're talking about 800 horsepower and 1,250 newton meters from one e-motor.
Elon Musk wasn't ready for this moment. In the year 2025, while the world's attention was elsewhere, Koenigsegg quietly introduced something that would shake up the automotive industry. With no teasers, no press build-up, they revealed an engineering marvel so advanced and so brutally powerful that it shook Tesla to its core, and visibly astonished Elon Musk during the live broadcast. No pre-launch hype, no viral campaign, just pure engineering chaos. What Koenigsegg did would change the car world forever. A hybrid powertrain producing 2,300 horsepower, paired with an electric motor that was small enough to fit inside a backpack. And running on synthetic fuel so clean and efficient, it made conventional gasoline almost eco-friendly in comparison. It wasn't just another step forward. It was a quantum leap, a bold move that forced the entire industry to stop and rethink. Is this the end of the electric revolution, or the moment when it will be completely redefined? Whatever your answer, one thing is for sure. What Koenigsegg has done will change the future of cars forever. And no one saw it coming. Get ready to witness the seismic shift in automotive history, how a single, audacious move by Koenigsegg has forever altered the course of the car industry, and why nobody was prepared for this game-changing moment. The EV revolution that promised too much. Something's broken in the electric revolution, and no one's talking about it. Electric vehicles were supposed to save the planet, destroy combustion, and change how we move forever. Instead, we've got cars that are heavier than pickup trucks, batteries that burn through rare earths, and a driving experience that feels more like piloting a laptop than a machine. So what happened? Why is the electric vehicle hype starting to fade? And what exactly did Koenigsegg build that could make Elon Musk panic? It all started with a promise. When Tesla first rolled out the Roadster, it wasn't just a car, it was a declaration of war. Electric could be fast, silent, and cool. Elon Musk wasn't just selling vehicles, he was reshaping the industry with software, superchargers, and bold predictions that made legacy automakers look prehistoric. Tesla's rise was meteoric. Model S rewrote the rules on performance. Model 3 made electric vehicles mainstream. Model X pushed luxury. And the Cybertruck, whether you loved or hated it, you couldn't ignore it. Behind Tesla's rise was a global momentum shift. Governments were on board. Europe announced a continent-wide internal combustion engine ban by 2035. California jumped in with its own phase-out timeline. China, the biggest auto market in the world, aggressively pushed local electric vehicle production with subsidies and sales quotas. Major cities started banning diesel. Car companies scrambled. General Motors promised to go all-electric by 2035. Volvo, Ford, Mercedes. They all announced timelines that, on paper, sounded like a new golden age. But behind the headlines, reality was more complicated. Let's start with range anxiety. Despite all the hype, most electric vehicles still can't go as far as a tank of gas, especially not when you're using heat or air conditioning or driving at highway speeds. Cold weather, your battery drains faster. Fast charging, sure, but it still takes 20 to 30 minutes to hit 80%, and that's only if you're lucky enough to find an available charger that actually works. Then, there's the battery itself. To build one Tesla Model S battery pack, you need around 63 kilograms of lithium, plus cobalt, nickel, manganese, and graphite, materials that are often mined under harsh, polluting, or exploitative conditions. Reports have linked some cobalt mining to child labor in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Lithium extraction is water-intensive and environmentally damaging, especially in regions already facing drought. And those batteries, they're heavy. The average electric vehicle weighs hundreds of kilograms more than a comparable gas car. Heavier cars wear out tires faster, put more strain on brakes, and cause more damage to roads. Add to that the limited recyclability of most current battery packs, and the green image starts to look a little blurry. But maybe the most overlooked issue is the soul. For all their instant torque and quiet acceleration, many electric vehicles are starting to feel the same. Smooth, fast, silent, and forgettable. The driving experience is increasingly software-controlled, dampened, digitized. There's no roar, no gear shift, no mechanical drama. For performance enthusiasts, that thrill, the feel of driving, is missing. It's why some critics are now calling electric vehicles digital appliances on wheels. Even the competition that was supposed to challenge Tesla has followed the same formula. Rimac hyper-electric vehicles are blisteringly fast, but heavy and complex. Lucid builds tech-rich sedans, but they struggle with scale and software. Porsche's Taycan is precise, yes, but it's also weighed down by its massive battery system. Everyone seems stuck on the same blueprint. Bigger battery, more range, sleeker user interface, different badge, same idea. And that's where Koenigsegg breaks the pattern. This isn't a company chasing market share. It's not trying to sell hundreds of thousands of cars. Koenigsegg is obsessed with one thing: innovation. The kind of innovation that doesn't care about trends, that doesn't follow the herd. And while the rest of the auto world was busy trying to copy Tesla's playbook, Koenigsegg quietly wrote their own. For years, they operated in near silence. No big auto shows, no viral tweets, just a tiny facility in Ängelholm, Sweden, building hypercars that defied physics. The Agera RS didn't just beat speed records, it embarrassed the competition. The Agera removed the gearbox entirely. Jesko rewrote the limits of track performance. But no one expected what came next. A four-seater hybrid that could outrun a Bugatti, and a motor so compact, so powerful, that it could change how electric propulsion is defined. That motor, and the engine it's paired with, is the reason Elon Musk might finally have something to worry about. The moment everything changed, Koenigsegg's shock engine was revealed. In 2025, Koenigsegg did something no one saw coming. No press release, no teaser video, just a brutal, clinical, world-shifting reveal that left engineers stunned and rivals scrambling. In one move, Christian von Koenigsegg unveiled not one, but two machines, so advanced they made Tesla's entire drivetrain strategy look like a half-step from the past. A synthetic fueled combustion engine that doesn't pollute like traditional gas guzzlers, and an electric motor so compact, so powerful, and so efficient, it made the entire industry's obsession with stacking more batteries look completely obsolete. The world watched. Elon Musk blinked. So, what did Koenigsegg just do? And why did one of the most confident tech CEOs on Earth suddenly look like someone had pulled the rug out from under him? First, let's talk about the dark matter motor. That's what Koenigsegg is calling their new in-house electric motor, and that name isn't just for drama. It hints at what this thing is: dense, mysterious, compact, and utterly unlike anything else on the road. This motor weighs under 40 kilograms, less than the average suitcase. But it generates 800 horsepower and 1,250 Newton meters of torque. For reference, Tesla's dual-motor setup in the Model S Plaid uses two larger, heavier units to hit similar torque levels. Koenigsegg just did it with one. And it's not just the numbers, it's the science behind it. The dark matter motor uses what Koenigsegg calls an axial flux design. That's a combination of radial and axial flux motors, both of which are typically used in different engineering contexts. Radial flux motors are common in most EVs, efficient, familiar, and relatively easy to produce. Axial flux motors, on the other hand, are known for being incredibly power-dense but hard to scale for commercial use. Koenigsegg didn't just pick one, they fused both into a six-phase architecture. That means power is distributed more evenly, heat is managed better, and performance stays consistent across all driving conditions. So, how small is this thing really? Christian von Koenigsegg held it in his arms at the factory reveal. Literally, it's about the size of a carry-on backpack, yet it delivers more torque than the entire drivetrain of most full-size SUVs. And unlike multi-motor setups that need complex software to manage how torque is split between wheels, the dark matter motor simplifies everything. It's a single unit with real-time power response connected directly to Koenigsegg's own torque converter and inverter system. Fewer parts, fewer points of failure, and no waste in energy delivery. The implications? Massive. It means electric vehicles don't need to be big to be powerful. They don't need to carry 3 motors to do advanced torque vectoring. Koenigsegg has already tested this motor as part of a new production spec JRA, and the results are absurd. Not only is it lighter and simpler than the old 3-motor hybrid system, it performs better. So then you might ask, if this electric motor is so incredible, why not just go all in on it? Why pair it with a combustion engine at all? Because the second part of Koenigsegg's reveal changes the game just as much. A quad turbocharged combustion engine that runs on synthetic e-fuel, produces near zero emissions, and delivers over 1,500 horsepower on its own. Let's be clear, this is not a reworked V8 from an old project. It's a new block, new valve system, new turbo architecture, built completely in-house. It was designed from scratch to run clean, burn hot, rev high, and integrate flawlessly with hybrid electric tech. Synthetic e-fuel, in simple terms, is a liquid fuel made by combining captured carbon dioxide with hydrogen. When it burns, it releases the same amount of carbon dioxide that was used to make it. So the net emissions are basically neutral. Porsche is experimenting with similar fuels, but Koenigsegg is ahead of the curve. This engine doesn't need to be adapted for e-fuel. It was born for it. And when paired with the dark matter motor, the result is a hybrid system that produces a combined 2,300 horsepower and 2,750 Newton-meters of torque. Those aren't theoretical numbers. That's what the production-ready version of the updated JRA can now deliver. Think about what that means. A 4-seater Grand Tourer, cup holders, infotainment screens, actual luggage space that out-accelerates a Bugatti Chiron. And it does it without relying on a massive, heavy battery pack. No range anxiety, no 30-minute fast charge dependency, no lithium supply chain issues. That alone would have made headlines. But what truly stunned the industry was how quietly Koenigsegg dropped this breakthrough. No launch event, no multi-day press preview, no teaser campaign with countdown timers. They simply updated the JRA's spec sheet, released a few cryptic statements, and let the engineers do the talking. And the moment technical details started to circulate, especially among EV specialists and automotive journalists, the buzz became impossible to ignore. it also opens up new design possibilities. Smaller motors mean less weight. Less weight means better chassis balance. Better balance means tighter handling, less tire wear, and improved efficiency. It's a chain reaction of advantages, something that's hard to achieve when you're locked into a traditional battery-heavy architecture. And then there's the synthetic combustion engine. Most performance brands have either abandoned combustion or reluctantly kept it around in legacy models. Koenigsegg, meanwhile, just introduced a brand new quad-turbo-charged V8 built entirely in-house, designed from day one to run on synthetic fuels. This engine isn't just powerful, it's clean. When running on e-fuels synthesized from captured carbon and green hydrogen, it delivers power with near-zero net emissions. This matters because it reframes the sustainability conversation. For years, battery electrics have been positioned as the only path forward, but they come with trade-offs. Now, Koenigsegg's setup offers a different route, one that uses lightweight hybrids, advanced combustion, and sustainable fuels to create a more flexible, more adaptable future. It's also worth noting how few companies could have pulled this off. Koenigsegg isn't part of a larger automotive group. From the carbon fiber layups to the 3D printed titanium exhausts, everything is designed, engineered, and built internally. That vertical control allows them to move fast, take risks, and implement cutting-edge ideas without external approval loops. It's not just a different drivetrain, it's a completely different philosophy. And the impact? Immediate. Across engineering forums, performance blogs, and even internal circles at larger OEMs, discussions started shifting. Why are we still relying on dual-motor setups with diminishing gains? Why are we hauling around battery packs that weigh as much as entire engines? Why hasn't anyone else attempted a scalable e-fuel hybrid? Even publications that have been all in on battery electric advocacy admitted this is something different. Koenigsegg didn't just make a better engine, they exposed a weakness in the current playbook. A lack of imagination, a refusal to explore alternatives because the industry had already committed billions to one solution. But as 2025 unfolds, it's becoming harder to ignore what just happened. A four-seater that outguns hypercars, a motor the size of a backpack, an engine that burns clean and revs high, all from a factory with fewer employees than some car brands have marketing staff. What happens now? Is this the beginning of the end for electric cars? Right now, the rest of the auto industry is watching Koenigsegg with a mix of admiration and anxiety. Because here's the truth. If Koenigsegg's approach works, if combining a compact, ultra-efficient electric motor with a lightweight, low-emission synthetic fuel engine delivers better real-world performance, range, sustainability, and fun, then the entire big battery model starts to look clunky. Think about it. Tesla's top vehicles rely on massive battery packs, weighing hundreds of kilograms to achieve their famous range and acceleration. Those batteries add cost, complexity, and environmental baggage. Koenigsegg skipped past that problem by blending a high-output hybrid system with a motor that needs fewer parts, less cooling, and no rare earth magnets. They've created something no one else has. The auto industry's dirty secret is that electric cars aren't as universally clean as the marketing suggests. Yes, they have zero tailpipe emissions, but the batteries require mining lithium, cobalt, and nickel, often from environmentally fragile regions, sometimes under unethical labor conditions. Manufacturing those batteries consumes enormous amounts of energy, and recycling them is still inefficient and expensive. By contrast, synthetic fuels offer a different path. made by combining captured carbon dioxide with green hydrogen. They're carbon neutral in theory because they reuse carbon already in the atmosphere. Porsche has invested heavily in synthetic fuels. Saudi Arabia is building pilot plants. The European Union has debated carving out synthetic fuel exceptions in their 2035 combustion engine ban. In other words, Koenigsegg isn't alone in betting that synthetic fuels have a future. But here's what sets Koenigsegg apart. They didn't just bolt a synthetic fuel engine onto an old platform. They designed a completely new powertrain to take advantage of synthetic fuel's properties. The engine isn't a recycled V8 from a past model. It's quad-turbocharged, built with exotic alloys for high heat tolerance, optimized for rapid combustion. It's paired seamlessly with the dark matter motor, creating a system that's both brutally powerful and highly adaptable. 2,300 horsepower in a four-seater Grand Tourer isn't just headline-grabbing. It's proof that hybridization doesn't have to mean compromise. The big question is, can anyone else catch up? Because Koenigsegg's innovations weren't bought off the shelf. Their carbon fiber isn't subcontracted. Their titanium parts aren't outsourced. Their software isn't licensed from a third party. Every element is either developed in-house or so customized that replicating it would require starting from zero. Most automakers simply aren't structured to work that way. Tesla's model depends on scale, building hundreds of thousands of vehicles per factory. Their engineering philosophy prioritizes reducing complexity for mass production. Koenigsegg's engineering philosophy embraces complexity to achieve purity, knowing they'll only build a few dozen or 100 cars per year. And this raises a painful truth for large automakers. Innovation doesn't always scale cleanly. Tesla can't simply shrink its supply chains overnight. Ford can't retool its factories next year to make ultra-lightweight six-phase motors. General Motors can't abandon its Ultium battery platform midstream. These companies have invested billions in one direction. Koenigsegg quietly went another way. That's why even if big automakers pivot toward hybrid systems or synthetic fuels tomorrow, Koenigsegg will have a multi-year lead. Not just in patents or prototypes, but in the institutional knowledge of how to make such systems work as a cohesive machine. Meanwhile, public perception is shifting. A new generation of car buyers doesn't just want silent, sterile transportation. They want experience. They want machines that feel alive. They want the mechanical drama electric cars erased. That's why Koenigsegg's reveal hit harder than a technical spec sheet. It wasn't just, look at these numbers. It was, look at this philosophy. A car that outruns a Bugatti Chiron while seating 4 adults and carrying luggage. A hybrid that doesn't feel patched together, but integrated from the ground up. A powertrain that cleans the air it uses while delivering raw, visceral joy. It wasn't marketed as a rebellion, but that's exactly how it felt. Tesla now faces a dilemma. Elon Musk's bet on batteries and software looked unbeatable 5 years ago. But if Koenigsegg's hybrid formula proves adaptable, Musk's roadmap could suddenly seem narrow. Tesla's focus on large-format batteries, heavy skateboard platforms, and software-controlled acceleration makes sense in a pure electric ecosystem. But if the future turns hybrid again, if synthetic fuels gain political and economic momentum, Tesla might find itself locked into infrastructure that's no longer a competitive advantage. Musk could pivot, but pivoting means admitting that the path forward isn't purely electric. And what's Musk's next move? After Koenigsegg's announcement, he posted a cryptic tweet. Physics is the ultimate arbiter. Fans read it as defiance. Critics read it as deflection. Industry insiders read it as uncertainty. Behind closed doors, some Tesla engineers reportedly expressed frustration. Koenigsegg's packaging efficiency with the dark matter motor forced a rethink. How could a boutique company achieve better torque density, lower thermal loss, and tighter integration than a global leader in electric motors? Some argued that Koenigsegg's tech couldn't scale. Others warned that scale might not be the goal anymore. If synthetic fuels get cheaper, if policy allows low-volume combustion cars running on carbon-neutral fuel, if lightweight hybrid systems outperform heavy battery setups in real-world use, then mass production might stop being the metric of success. And in that world, Koenigsegg's approach isn't an outlier. It's a glimpse of a parallel future that doesn't have to follow the electric-only route. Christian von Koenigsegg's strategy is deceptively simple. Stay small, stay weird, stay ahead. He doesn't care about unit volume. He doesn't chase software-based driver experiences. He doesn't dilute engineering purity for market share. Every Koenigsegg project prioritizes balance, beauty, and brutality in equal measure. Not just how fast it goes, but how it feels. Not just how sustainable it is, but how joyful it is to drive. And that's a challenge most automakers didn't see coming, because it questions whether green has to mean boring. The provocative question at the heart of all this is simple. If Koenigsegg can build a four-seater that outruns a Chiron, uses carbon-neutral fuel, and fits its entire electric propulsion into something the size of a backpack, what excuse do the rest of us have? Why are we still told that electric cars must be heavy, that they must be dull, that sustainability requires sacrificing excitement? Koenigsegg's announcement doesn't spell the end of electric vehicles, but it signals the end of inevitability. For years, the narrative was clear. Combustion was dying, batteries were rising, and software would define the future. Now the future feels more open, more complicated, more interesting. Koenigsegg didn't just disrupt a product category, they disrupted an assumption. In 2025, we're watching the beginning of a split in the road. One path keeps chasing bigger batteries, more range, more software. The other path asks, how much can we achieve with less? Less weight, less complexity, less dependence on fragile supply chains, and maybe, just maybe, more fun, more beauty, more balance. And that's the legacy of Koenigsegg's dark matter motor and new hybrid engine. Not just numbers, not just specs, but a provocation. We don't have to choose between performance, sustainability, and joy. We can have all three if we're willing to think differently. So where does that leave Tesla? That's the billion-dollar question. Elon Musk can adapt. He's pivoted before. But pivots take time. And Koenigsegg didn't just pivot, they reinvented. The next few years will show whether Tesla doubles down on the old electric formula or whether they're willing to follow the lead of a tiny Swedish company that quietly rewrote the rules. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the next video for more exciting content.